Hey, what's up, everybody? A little while ago, I told the whole world and a couple of people that I wasn't going to buy a Steam machine, and plenty of you were like, okay. And I was like, I'm going to do something else instead. So like many people, I showed up seeing the Steam machine prices and I thought, okay, I don't think I want to buy this anymore. The price proposition for performance was just too low in my opinion. I am paying too much money for a Steam machine for not enough frames. And I had a lot of spare parts lying around and I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and spend what I thought the Steam machine was going to cost on the remainder parts that I was going to need to take everything that I already owned and pull it together and make my own DIY Steam machine. And can I please tell you that holy shit, that was an awesome idea. I've been having a ton of fun with this thing. Having a console living room experience is honestly something that's really missed when you've been sitting in front of your desk for your almost last decade. I haven't really done much living room console gaming. Everything has either been on a handheld on my Switch 1 and now Switch 2 or my Steam Deck, or here at my desk every day for years. So I've been really missing that kind of large living room TV box experience, huge cinematic stuff. I think that a nice immersive RPG is really good for a desk, but sometimes you want that huge cinematic feel. You don't get the same feels when you're this far away from the computer monitor. Not only that, I needed to get out of this room. I talked about it a lot in the last video. I don't want to reiterate over everything here, but my whole work, my whole job, plus my hobbies are in this office. And so separating myself a little bit and going out that way to go do something else has been a great boom. There are many weird little challenges that have to go with making your own DIY Steam machine, of which I kind of had a feeling was going to go on. I mean, just in general, a living room PC is quite difficult to manage with only a game controller. I've been using an 8BitDo Pro 2 for most of my stuff out there, and you can get away with a lot of it thanks to the SteamOS experience. I didn't go with SteamOS because I'm stuck on NVIDIA. I had an extra NVIDIA graphics card, so I went with Windows 11 and I tried to slim that down as best I could to just purely be a Steam big picture experience. And to be honest, with a couple of tweaks to Windows, you can totally pull that off, but every now and then something would happen where I would just get stuck. I would need a keyboard, I would need a mouse, I'd have to get it the fuck out of the way. I'd have to do something about the pop-up that just showed up. I'd have to alt-tab into something else to get what I needed. So I kind of got pigeonholed. So what I did to that solution initially was I purchased this guy. This is just a nice little compact fold-out keyboard, connects via Bluetooth. Just pull it out really quick, type whatever I need, wrap it up, close it, it's done. It connects really quickly. It's pretty much immediate the second it realizes it turns on. It's connected via Bluetooth. Got a trackpad built into the side so I can kind of just get done exactly what I need. This thing had been doing a really good job at solving a lot of those problems, but let me tell you, if you are looking in the background, because I feel like it's in the shot, you're probably ahead of me. This guy solved all my problems with a living room PC. This was the perfect solution to what I needed. I had a little bit of an idea that the Steam controller was going to be a great purchase. It was going to be the thing that changed everything, because the trackpads, if you don't use them that often on a Steam Deck, or if you have a Steam Deck, the trackpads are amazing. They are the thing that make that handheld PC experience work perfectly. To navigate a desktop with a Steam controller or a Steam Deck, if you are not familiar, move my thumb around very elegantly. It works like a trackball, and then you click or left click, select menu, left click, and then like an iPod Touch, clockwise to scroll down, counterclockwise to scroll up, and it's seamless. It feels fantastic. You just hit this button, the Steam button, plus an X button to pull up an on-screen keyboard. You can use the trackpads to type, or you can just use the controller. After I got this thing, I have pulled this out once over the course of an entire month. I pulled that thing out daily. I needed a secondary keyboard all the time to handle and tackle a million different weird issues. Whether a game was launching, I had to finish the installation, I had to sign into the EA app, I had to sign into Blizzard app, Battle.net, whatever the fuck. there were just a million tiny things. Now, because the Ubisoft launcher pops up because it wants me to sign in, I just use this. I got to go switch over to the desktop. I just use this. I don't pick up anything else anymore. It is just the Steam controller. And if you are thinking of doing a living room PC, a SteamOS DIY build, this is like the one thing out of all of Valve's hardware that you probably still need to go buy. I got a little lucky. My buddy bought a Steam machine and he was part of the crowd that got the with a controller option. He also purchased himself a Steam controller ahead of time and he had an extra. And I was like, can I have it? And I was like, yeah. So he sold it to me. I paid him for the difference, paid him for shipping, sent it over. So thank you, Reed. Hell yes. This thing has been fucking awesome. It's super cool. There are still a million tiny features part of this that I don't really take full advantage of. The back pedals, I'm a huge fan of on the DualSense Edge. I love having my jump button be bound to the back. But all four of these, there's not a lot of games that are in my own personal experience that I found a lot of use for, especially the capacitive touch grips. That's a really interesting feature that I just have no idea what to put it on because it knows when you're holding it like this. Looking up on the spec sheet for a Steam controller, it's got some really weird tech in here, but the trackpads are a game changer. The gyro is fantastic. I'm using it all the time in Death Stranding 2, which detects my gyro natively, so I don't have to do anything. It's just as responsive as a mouse if you go ahead and do anything quick with it. This will literally solve all your problems if you have a DIY living room PC, a DIY Steam machine. The Steam controller is the literal final next step that made me go from, oh fuck, I have to use a keyboard all the time to get up and solve my stupid issue because a pop-up came up that I can't deal with, or I can just go and use this and click on it, and now I'm right back to a controller interface and all kinds of other stuff. But in other news, having a living room PC has been really nice. It's cool having the idea in the back of my head that I have a console that is fully custom. It's my PlayStation 5, but it runs my Steam library and I can customize big picture interface with the CSS plugin for Decky, and then all the hardware in there is mine. I do want to move to SteamOS. I did want to move over to Bazzite, but because of my NVIDIA graphics card, the performance hit trying to run at a full native 4K resolution, 60 FPS with sometimes some ray tracing enabled, because at that large of a resolution, you really can pick up on the tiny details a lot cleaner. It stood out to me. And so I was like, well, Bazzite is like up to 20, maybe 30% performance loss sometimes. It's kind of rough. So I decided to go with Windows. But Valve has actually been quietly announcing that they will be working with all graphics card partners and anybody who's making hardware for gaming to try and get SteamOS in the direction of NVIDIA drivers working seamlessly on their platform. Same thing for Intel, which the whole reason that the Steam machine ecosystem even exists in a lot of the ways that it does right now for its own part selection is because of the Steam Valve hardware survey, which does boast a 70% market share for NVIDIA graphics cards. And Valve is not shyly looking away from that number. They realize that if they want SteamOS to become a dominant operating system for the gaming space, they're gonna have to cater to NVIDIA. And so if there's anybody who is going to be capable of getting that to work, it's gonna be Valve. Valve has done kind of an unbelievable job pulling more performance out of the Steam Deck than I actually thought that they ever would be capable of. I was a year one Steam Deck buyer. I got the LCD version. Steam LCD got so good in a little short period of time. Proton became such a amazingly seamless experience when they finally got SMTP working for the multi-core support. They were able to pull so much out of it, and even now, KDE runs even better on my Steam Deck OLED than it did when it first came out. It's unbelievable the level of optimizations and performance adjustments that thing is getting constantly. I'm getting surprised by this game. Ran like ass like fucking 6 months ago. Proton has slowly patched and fixed small things and adjust stuff, and now this game runs at least like a stable 30 FPS, which should be expected for a handheld device. I have all the confidence in the world that at some point Valve will get NVIDIA graphics cards running on SteamOS, and that performance parity with Windows 11 will be exactly the same, if not better, because SteamOS has a much lower headroom required for running it. It's going to be great. I know they will get there, and I am desperately waiting for them to do it. For now, I've done a pretty decent job getting SteamOS to run pretty seamlessly, where I turn on the device and it just instantly boots into Steam Big Picture after a few like initial Windows startup things. There's no sign in, straight to desktop, straight to Big Picture. I'm done. SteamOS SteamOS will simplify the experience way down. And I know if there's anyone that can make that happen, it will be Valve. This is kind of my 1 month report on my DIY Steam machine. I'm having a real blast using this thing. It's been a lot of fun. Do you guys have any curiosity about making a living room PC? I wasn't totally in the idea that was going to be a fun thing to do, but once the Steam Deck experience got so like console-like and compact and was easy to navigate, it really opened my mind to the fact that Steam had a really, really solid, like, big picture TV mode that was capable to it. And then I thought, you really could just get this on a custom PC and just put it underneath your TV and call it done. It's there. But do you have any want to do this kind of thing? How big even is the crowd of people that want a custom console in their TV space? I don't know, but I'm a very tinkery human being. I love to like pull things apart and change them, see how they tick, and then try to put it back together, and hopefully I busted nothing along the way. So what do you guys think? You ever want to make your own DIY PC? If you do, I'm not kidding. I can't believe I'm shilling so hard for this, but this literally made my life so easy owning this controller that if you're going to think about doing one, this is the guy. Like, because it's just the trackpads. If the trackpads weren't here, it would just be another thing, but these trackpads really make it something special, and that's why it's so good at what it does. Anyways, I'm going to make another video next week. This one's planning on coming out before Friday, so maybe you'll see it Thursday. Maybe you are seeing it Friday. It's nice to see you now, and I will put out something next week. Thanks for stopping by. Please leave a like, please subscribe, and I'll see you later.